Hey everyone, so I wanted to do a gun video for beginners, and please excuse me this space. I don't really have a stand, and this is the best way I can do it. I also have a little script because I forget stuff, PTSD and all that stuff. It's crazy. Anyways, this video is for beginners, and I wanted to show you all. This is my primary weapon. Okay, so this is a 1911. It's a 45 ACP, and some of them come in 9mm, 38 Super, but 45 ACP is God's caliber. And this is a Springfield Armory Mil-spec 1911. Now, this video is going to have a lot of stuff that people know, but this, like I said, is for beginners and it's useful for everyone, I think. So, who am I? I'm a Second Amendment supporting veteran. I was a combat medic in Iraq in the Army. And I fired just about every weapon on God's green earth, from the AT-4 to the M240 Bravo to the SAW, just a lot of things. One thing I want to talk about is first rule: never tell anyone how many firearms you have. It's none of their business, especially if it's online. Now, I'm doing it now. I'm showing mine because this is for information purposes and all that, right? Okay, so when you're handling a weapon, a lot of people say that treat it as if it's loaded. I say know the status of every firearm you pick up. This means knowing whether it is loaded or it's not, because not every time do you need to make sure that it's because sometimes, like when you're cleaning it and all of that, it's not loaded. So know the status. Always keep the barrel in a safe direction. Now, kind of kind of think of it as there's a laser, and anywhere that laser points it's going to destroy, because it could. So keep it always away from people, always away from animals, and all of that stuff. Now, when you buy your first firearm, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take it apart. You're going to want to clean it and lube it, get acquainted with it. Some people like to get it and then put it in their drawer and that's it. No, you need to know your firearm. Another thing is make sure you clean your mags, right? A lot of people don't know about this, but mags get dusty. And what you want to do is you can look up on YouTube to see how you can do it. Usually there's a button you press and you can take it out. But you want to now don't lube the inside of your mags. What you want to do is you want to make sure that there's no dust and dirt and all that. Make sure the spring is good. Now, ammo is something that I want to talk about. You're a new gun owner, right? And you look at ammo and wow, it's expensive, $20-$30 a box. But you need to learn one major thing. There's a difference. So, for the 45 ACP, there's FMJ ammo or ball ammo. This is for the range. We know this because it looks like a ball, right? The projectile doesn't have a hollow point or any special markings like that. Now, why would you want defensive ammo? What's the point of it? I want you to look at this right here. This is this is a hollow point, but it's from what's called Liberty Civil Defense. Now, this is about $2 a round. Normally, you can get ammo from 50 cents to 60 cents a round. But this is special. And the reason this is special is because it goes, for the 45 ACP, it goes 1,900 feet per second and creates 600 pounds of foot-pound energy, right? That's very significant for the 45. Now, 9mm, I have a 9mm, and I have the same type of ammo, and it goes 2,000 feet per second with 463 foot-pound energy. So another reason why you want defensive ammo is because it creates, like I said, it creates a larger wound cavity, but it also makes sure that whatever target you're hitting, it won't go through. Most of the time, it will expand and it'll stay in your target. The last thing you want is somebody standing behind somebody who is trying to attack you, and you launch the projectile, and it goes through them and hits somebody else. A lot of people don't realize this, but when it comes to firearms, the actual weapon is this little guy right here, this projectile. So the different parts of a cartridge, and that's what they're called. They're called cartridges. They're not bullets. The projectile is the bullet. Okay? There's 4 parts to every cartridge. There's the case, the black powder inside, or gunpowder that people call, the primer, and then the projectile. When the firing pin hits the primer, it ignites, and there's a small little hole that connects to the black powder, and that launches the projectile. One thing when you are a firearm owner, you want to learn the mechanics of your tool, and you want to make sure that you know. So, as far as this is the civil Liberty Civil Defense, and you can see it looks backwards here, but anyway, 78 grains, which is very low. That's a very light projectile. 1,900 feet per second. There's some other defensive ammo I have. Well, that's for 357 mag. I don't know what that's doing here. But we have PMC. Okay. And if we look, this is 230 grain, right? Like 3 times the amount. And only 830 feet per second. So that's significant, right? Half the speed, but it's also half the cost. Well, it's less than half the cost. So yeah, I would say that you would definitely want to look at defensive ammo, hollow points, and all of that, because you don't want to be carrying around ball ammo. That's for the range. And know what know the grains, and know the different things that go into firearms and all that. Another thing is get a CCW license, a concealed carry license. Learn your state reciprocity laws. So, for example, I'm in Oregon, and if I go to Washington, my CCW doesn't stand there. I have to open carry. Same with California. But I can go to Idaho. I can go to, I believe I can go to Nevada. I've seen the state map, and it allows me to go all the way to the East Coast if I pick the right route, right? Always know the laws. And another thing, now, I want to say this, I'm not sponsored by anybody. Very small channel, and, whatever. But please get self-defense insurance. What this does is they pay for the attorney, the fees, bail. They even give you a replacement firearm, because when something like that happens, often the law enforcement officers, they will take your firearm as evidence. Now, when it comes to what you should do and how you should react to the police and all of that, I'm not going to advise you on that. I would look up Masad Ayub from Wilson Combat. Very good information about that kind of stuff, and what you should do in a situation like that. But I personally choose CCW Safe. Now, a lot of people choose USCCA, and I don't know it. Maybe it's because it's a very popular brand, but I choose CCW Safe for the main reason is if you lose the case or take a plea, you don't have to pay it back. Sometimes, I mean, this can get into the millions sometimes with criminal or civil defense. CCW Safe does not require you to pay that money back if you lose. And there's no cap. That's another thing. There's no cap on insurance for CCW Safe. Right now, currently, I have the Defender plan because I'm a veteran, so I pay $16 a month. I believe the Protector plan is like $17, $18 for civilians. And I also pay an additional $19, so total uh, $35 a month. I pay for self-defense insurance because my wife is covered. Not only that, but I paid an additional amount to have $1 million bail. That's right. If it's $1 million, they cover it, and they'll get me out. And I've heard stories of often the attorney gets there before the police. I don't know how many times that's happened, but that's one of the things. Okay, so gun culture. When it comes to GunTube, that's what we call it. A lot of great channels on there. Like I said, Masad Ayub from Wilson Combat, he does a lot of theoretical stuff, like what would happen in this situation and what you should do with, carrying and reciprocity laws and all of that. Grand Thumb, awesome channel. He does a lot of scientific work and all of that and shoots a bunch of, dummies. Mr. Guns and Gear, I know that Steven Crowder just partnered with him, but Mr. Guns and Gear is a good one. Demolition Ranch, that's a crazy one. That's sometimes that's pretty fun. They do explosions and stuff. And of course, the OG Hickok 45. Now, Hickok 45 is important because when you want to buy a firearm, he's done almost every firearm by now that has ever existed. I mean, it's shocking, even like different editions of firearms, he's done. And I want to, I'm not gonna pull that out. But anyways, now a special advisor, also with self-defense insurance, sad to say, Washington, New York, and New Jersey doesn't allow it. I don't know why. I guess their state has just said we don't want it. It sucks because it protects those who use firearms. Now, if you're in Washington or California, I want you to please know the laws. You can't carry more than 10 rounds in California. So when I visit family and stuff like that, I have to have it locked up and I have to bring a certain firearm. And Washington doesn't allow assault rifles, which is the AR-15s and all of that. So I can never hunt in Washington. I hunt in Oregon. I use my AR-15 for that. I don't use a 5.56. I use a 2.23 round. But Oregon even tried with Measure 114. They tried to initiate a gun buying permit and a ban on 10 plus round mags, right? But it got held up in court. And I guess in September they're going to be ruling on it. But the state judge, the federal judge says it's constitutional, but the state judge is not convinced. So hopefully that will get overturned. That was a measure that was voted in, like, I believe it was like 50.4 said yes. And so barely it passed. And it's one of the most tyrannical measures out there. And it was started by a church movement or something like that. One major thing, be careful buying online, especially ammo. It's tempting to go on ammoseek.com and you see 12 cents per round, but you need to go on Reddit and look up to see if it's a reputable company, right? All you got to do is look up that company, type it in, and look at Reddit specifically, and everyone will tell you, oh yeah, I've got mine held up by this company. I still haven't received mine. It's been months or whatever. You want to make sure that you check the company, because if it's 12 cents per round, often what's happening is they're charging you $50 to $100 for shipping. So if that 12 cents per round goes back up to 60 because of shipping costs, and it's just ridiculous. Lastly, look up in the comment section under this video. Maybe I got something wrong. I don't think I did, but maybe I did. And a lot of people have good suggestions, right? they they'll add stuff and they'll say, hey, you should do this or whatever. Um, One firearm, I can't take the mag out on YouTube, I believe, but another one that I have, I personalized it. What I did was the serial number's still good, right? I'm not going to show the serial number, but it's the serial number's still good. But what I did was I took dye and I made it. This was a Tiffany blue, and then I dyed it, and then I chipped away at the paint to make it look like blue camo. But anyways, this right here, this is a 380 auto. So it's the diameter is what a 9 is, right? But it's a very short, very small round. Now, this is my favorite firearm because it's just this was the pistol that won World War One and World War Two, and it's smooth, and I take really good care of it. 45 ACP. You're not, unless you do something like a Desert Eagle, which is a 50 AE. American Express. Is it American Express? Maybe I got that mixed up with a card. Anyways, something Express. And yeah, this is powerful, especially with the ammunition that I have. I can't stress it enough. Make sure that you get good ammunition. Don't go don't go out there, get a firearm, and then start being like, oh yeah, I've got this or whatever. Um, it's important to make sure that you have the right tool for the right job, right? Mine, I have. Well, these are just two mags and same ammo, right? And I have a third one too. Actually, I have four total for my 1911. Make sure you get mags for it and get a mag holster. You can buy them for super cheap online. I mean, I got these. I got three of them for like $16, and they work well. And yeah, go on YouTube and look up all this stuff. There's a wealth of knowledge on GunTube. And like I said, all of those great ones, Hickok 45, Garand Thumb, some of them are very entertaining, and there's a lot of, But maybe I'll take this apart one time, and it's an issue of finding a camera holder or whatever. But yeah, this is that's it in the back. And then the beaver tail isn't very big right here, but the great thing about this is there's two or three safeties, right? There's a grip safety, and right here, this is single action. So you can't fire it without it being pulled back. That's why it's such a great firearm. And I keep it back like this and put the safety on. There's a manual safety right there. So manual safety, grip safety, and it's a single action. That's why it's so great. Anyways, yeah, sorry this video is up so close, but yeah, just make sure that you're a responsible gun owner and you know the laws, and don't be a goober and go out and I get it. You just went and bought like a Smith and Wesson, like a Shield or something. Maybe you bought a Glock. Hell, maybe you even bought a what's it called? Those crappy guns. I forget. They're not really crappy, but um, I forgot what they are. They're really cheap. But anyways, someone in the comments will talk about it. But um, make sure you get the right accessories for your firearm. Don't just get it. Get a and that's the thing. Don't just get one box of ammunition. I have probably, well, my round count is in the thousands. I I have I have a bunch of ammo cans and all of that, and so yeah. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments, and God bless. Love you all. Bye.